please welcome Managing Director of Atlantic Live, Emily Akhtarzandi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily Akhtarzandi, Managing Director of Atlantic Live, and I'm pleased to welcome such a great group this morning. Atlantic Live is the live events division of The Atlantic, and we are proud to bring this great publication's journalism to life on stage with in-depth coverage of the most consequential issues of our time. Today's program builds off of decades of reporting and commentary by The Atlantic on an issue that undoubtedly is deeply personal to nearly everyone: housing. Housing is a basic human need, but is also a commodity, one that is still not available to everyone in fair measure. We'll talk today about the legacy of the Fair Housing Act, which came at a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement of the 60s. Once signed into law in 1968, the act made it illegal to refuse to sell or rent a dwelling to any person because of his race, color, religion, or national origin. The law's language embodies the pursuit of justice and equity for all people in the United States. And as we look back today, we ask how the Fair Housing Act's original intent has weathered the past 50 years. What have we accomplished in combating housing discrimination and segregation, and what remains to be done? So this morning, we'll hear the stories of people who are pursuing solutions on local and national levels and thinking through the big questions that impact us all. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our underwriter, Fannie Mae, for making today possible. And before we jump in, a few housekeeping notes. If everyone could silence your cell phones, but keep them out to follow the conversation on Twitter at Atlantic Live using the hashtag AtlanticBuildingEquity. And we also want to hear from everyone in this room today as well, so we're going to take questions throughout the morning as the panels end. So let's jump in. We'll begin today's program with a look back at what was happening in many American communities in the 50s and 60s, when segregation was the norm and discriminatory practices were not yet outlawed across the country. It was under these circumstances that many Americans of color faced grave challenges trying to purchase a home of their own. The following Atlantic video introduces the story of the Contract Buyers League, a group of residents in Chicago who banded together to fight discriminatory housing practices in their neighborhood. Let's take a look.
The question of housing is one of the major problems this country faces. By and large, blacks live in substandard housing. Those who manage to fight their way out of it frequently pay a large penalty to do so.
I came from Birmingham, Alabama, but I came to Chicago for a better living and a job. I bought here, this house, in '58. It ain't nothing to brag about, but it's mine.
My name is Clyde Ross. I was born in Clarksville, Mississippi. I bought this house in 1958.
I moved in this house in 1957. It was mostly a white area. And when they said that the niggers was coming, they didn't say black, they said the niggers was coming. And they just start moving away. Mostly everyone that was black, they had been sold a contract. If you missed the payment in 3 months, they could take the property back. No lawyer, no nothing could help you. That was it.
There are blocks like this scattered throughout the Lawndale section of Chicago's West Side ghetto. The people who live here bought their homes from real estate speculators at double or triple their value, and they bought on contract because they couldn't get conventional or FHA mortgages. Under the contract, the buyer makes installment payments at high interest, but he bills no equity. If he defaults on even one payment at any time during the contract, he loses the property and everything he's paid into it.
We'll pay $26,000 and the house was worth $12,000. That means I was overcharged quite a bit. And the contract situation was so bad until, well, there was something broke down, you had to fix it. You had to pay your water and gas and electric and the taxes and everything else, but you didn't have no ownership.
How could we be charged like that if that wasn't a law? And how would the law let them do this? But they said it was their property. They had a choice to sell it at whatever price they wanted to. And if you bought it, then that was on you.
Worked 3 jobs. I worked at Campbell Soup, post office, and I delivered pizzas for 4 to 5 years. I get home at 10 o'clock every night, you know. Leave home at 6 o'clock every morning. Kids be asleep, they don't see me. And when they did see me on the weekend, I tell them something, they look at their mama and say, well, should I do it or should I not? Who is this guy, you know? I was a stranger in my own home because of this contract thing. Really a stranger. I said, now, this is not going to work.
These people who have cheated us out of more than money, we have been cheated out of the right to be human beings in a society. We have been cheated out of buying homes at a decent price. Now it's time now. We got a chance now. The Contract Buyers League have presented a chance for these people in this area to move out of this grip of society, to move up, stand on your own 2 feet, be human beings, fight for what you know is right. Fight!
I really believe that, you know, ultimately what we're after is some kind of communication among human beings, but that can only be effected when people can approach each other on the basis of equality.
Yeah, but even though you are keeping within the law, this is really war, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The college students and I went up and down the streets and asked people if they bought on contract. And we discovered that the average overcharge was $10,000 and then computed the monthly payments so that we knew that black folks were paying a race tax of about $20,000 per family.